How did the new sound sound?
New sound. I mean, it sounds great. You're talking about what your sound right now, right?
Yeah, my new sound.
Yeah, it's great.
Because I fixed it because it was sounding terrible.
Well, I mean, I definitely sounded better than you earlier.
Oh, you liked that, didn't you? You were like riding that wave. You're
I
like,
was,
you're like,
I was the professional.
got him this time.
Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. It's like watching, yeah.
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I happen to be Dan.
And I am most definitely Tony.
This is the show where we examine movies from the past with a brand new eye that's laser focused on finding each and every detailed problem with these movies so that the filmmakers could maybe go back with a director's cut and fix these issues so that we might enjoy these movies at a later date.
A director's cut that we'll never see, but
Exactly.
we can campaign for it on Twitter.
This week we've picked that venerable classic Willow from 1989.
It's definitely late 80s.
Yeah,
I'm not
late
sure.
80s. Ron Howard directed. George Lucas produced. George Lucas stood there and watched Ron Howard direct it, and it looked weird. It was kind of spooky and freaky. You're like, wow, ugh. George Lucas. And this movie is like a movie that's made for babies.
Well, hold on. Not babies, but children for sure. It's definitely a children's movie, I think. But here's what happened is that I talked to my sister. I have an older sister, for people who don't know. And I told her that we were doing this movie for the podcast, and she is like, I hate that movie. You used to make me watch it all the time, and it was so scary, and I hated it. And I was like, interesting. I don't remember any of this because I was a kid, and I have a terrible memory. I don't remember what I did yesterday. But when I rewatched it, I was like, oh, I could definitely, I totally understand why young Tony was so into this movie. It's great for kids. It's campy. It's fun. There's adventure. There's evil people. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, it's kind of a kids movie that's dressed as a lot of other things at different times. And so you watch it and you're like, what? It's kind of a Frankenstein, you know? It's as if George Lucas wanted to make Lord of the Rings, but make it a kid's rompy fantasy, but also leave in as much Lord of the Rings kind of stuff as he could.
I mean, definitely, there's definitely a lot.
and viewed through adult eyes, it's a terrible movie. But viewed through the eyes of
is it a terrible movie?
Viewed through adult eyes, it's not maybe not a terrible movie, but it's just like it's campy and
it is. It's very campy, which that was what surprised me the most with an adult rewatch. I was like, I don't remember it being so absurd. Like, there are occasional moments where I'm like, what are they even doing? I don't understand who thought that this would fit in a high fantasy movie, but whatever. Let's go for it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Ron Howard was probably coming off a Splash when he did this. So, he kind of had his comedy bona fides. And I mean, Splash kind of was the last good Ron Howard movie, I think. I don't know if there ever was another good one.
I'm going to peruse his IMDb. You keep going.
Yeah, so it's really weird. And I mean, I could see that a kid could like it, but an adult. That was the other thing I was just going to say is like after finishing this movie and sort of groaning, I sat down and watched The Princess Bride and looked at a movie that could appeal to everyone and is like kind of a perfect movie, which Tony probably doesn't like The Princess Bride because he's insane.
Oh no, I love Princess Bride. I do. I think it's a great movie. I can't remember his name. He's in Saw.
He's in Saw. What the hell does that mean?
He's the lead guy. I can't remember his name for some reason.
Elias Koteas?
Cary Elwes.
Oh, Cary Elwes.
Yes, that's how you say it.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's in Psych as well. It's one of the greatest running storylines of Psych, which is the greatest show of all time. Anyhow, continue on your track.
So you watch Princess Bride and you're like, oh wow, this is filmmakers knowing what their tone is, knowing what their story is, knowing what their characters are. Then you watch Willow and you're like, okay, this is like three different movies that are kind of glued together as a kid's fantasy. And okay, but the good news is that there's a Willow show coming to Netflix like next year, I think.
Oh, I did not know that. There's also, if you have stacks and stacks of money in your pockets, there's also a trilogy of books that you can get that were all sequels. The first one is set 13 years later after this, but they're all like collector's editions now because they're super out of print. So I looked last night and one of them's like $800. And I was like, well, I'm not going to buy that, but cool.
And I think it would be interesting to see if they tried to actually make this into a world, because it's not a world. It's just a bunch of tropes that George Lucas has ripped off and sort of glued into a movie.
Well, but some of them are ripped off from himself.
Oh, sure.
Is that even ripping off? I don't know. I don't know what the rules are.
Well, the thing you got to remember is he came up with this idea like in 1972, and he wanted to call the movie Munchkins.
You can't do that.
And you can't do that. And, I think what this movie really says is George Lucas just wanted to make Lord of the Rings and realized that he didn't have the money and it would have cost a bunch of money to do it. And so instead he made this movie.
I mean, listen, the way that I view George Lucas in general is he's a lover of the arts, books and movies, and he just wants to make those things. And so that's what he does. He just kind of takes things and then puts them into a new package. And sometimes we love him for it, and then other times we don't. It's very confusing to me why we let him get away with it sometimes and not other times.
Well, I think the thing is, like with Raiders, it's like Spielberg got what he was going for, and between the two of them, they hit the right road. With this, this one,
true.
He and Ron Howard both had a bunch of ideas, and then you ended up with three roads that went in three different directions. And
sure, yeah.
So we better get into it. So we start with this queen saying that there's a baby.
Oh, wait, 1 second. Sure. 1 second, Dan. I just want to say Ron Howard also directed Apollo 13.
That's okay.
That's a good movie.
That's pretty good.
And Ransom, if you remember that, with Mel Gibson.
Vaguely.
Not that I'm allowed to talk about that, but I liked that movie.
Vaguely.
And that's and Backdraft. Those are the only three movies I enjoy.
I'd be careful rewatching Backdraft because...
Oh no, is it not good?
I have the feeling it's just like a soapy melodrama if you watched it again now and you were like, oh, this is a soapy melodrama.
All right. Again, that's something I saw when I was younger, so it's hard. It's hard to separate.
I think the only good part is when, what's his name? De Niro's the investigator, the fire investigator. He's really interesting in that whole plot line, but the rest of it's just sort of brother loves brothers, sisters, girlfriend. Oh my God, soapy, 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 soapy.
I do love soaps, though.
There it is.
So I might enjoy it. Yeah.
So we start.
All right, the Queen.
The Queen, who has a name. All the names in this movie are beyond terrible. What's the Queen's name, Tony?
I don't know. Isn't her daughter's name Sasha?
Sharsha or something. It's just these.
Right.
It's just these weird. Somebody's like, make up a fantasy name. Mad Mardigan.
I know.
It's Mad Mardigan.
Oh, yeah, Mad Cardigan.
It's Mad Mardigan. One name or two names, Tony?
I think it's just one. I think because nobody ever says it separately, so no one ever calls him Mad. So it must be just Mad Mardigan, like it's just a run-on sentence.
I was talking to Todd, my buddy Todd, about it, and he was like, you always assume Mad was a descriptor as opposed to part of his actual name.
Oh, sure.
Like, thought he's crazy.
His name's Mardigan, but he's a mad guy.
Mad Mardigan. Ah, yes.
One-eyed Mad Mardigan.
Eric the Red. His mom's last name, is not the Red. It's, whatever. So we set up that there's this baby who is marked in this weird way, which we don't explain how that weird way is marked until we we show the mark one time as if you could check.
What's confusing to me is it sounds like she's killed a bunch of babies already, right?
I don't know.
Is she checking all of the babies and just seeing marks and being like, I bet that's the mark. I bet that does she not know what the mark? I'm very confused on the mark.
She knows exactly what the mark looks like. We don't know how
Then
she
why is
knows
she killing
this.
all those babies?
Uh, it's very vague. I think what they were going for is that she's not killing all the babies. She's just checking them for marks.
Oh, okay.
But you know how,
So she's really not that evil. She's really only killing one baby. You know,
uh,
I get it.
but she can't even really kill the one baby. She has to get the baby and then ritual the baby.
Do some sort of. I was very confused. She had the baby for like 30 minutes of this movie, and I was just like, just kill it.
Nope,
Just kill it. I don't get it.
there's a ritual that takes as much time as it takes to dig 6-foot pits, plus another hour. That's how long the ritual takes.
It's a tough ritual. All right. I don't know if you guys have ever done real hoodoo, but it's tough stuff.
And that's why this is a terrible movie, is because it doesn't even set up the like, oh, at the stroke of midnight, the thing's going to happen.
Sure.
No, we're
Yeah.
just like,
No, it's just very vague.
they're just like, we'll just take our time doing whatever plan we want because we don't know what chances are we're going to get there right on time.
And they do. Good for them.
So they have to kill the baby, and then the baby gets born, and then they know it's getting born, and then this midwife just like saunters out of the castle on foot, and then when they figure it out, she just keeps walking away, and then they don't really
How did
send
nobody
people.
stop her? I don't understand. Aren't they in like a lockdown type situation and everyone knows where she works? It's very confusing.
And they don't send people on horses, which horses much quicker than people walking, and she just escapes.
But they do send the cool dogs. I thought that was pretty neat.
Oh, the cool dogs. So what they
Oh,
did.
you don't like the dogs?
Well, I'm going to go back to Princess Bride. Princess Bride has like these rats that live in the swamp that are very funny, which are guys dressed as rats. This thing instead takes a dog, wraps it in a piece of like fuzzy cloth, and then sticks a rat tail out there, and then they just say go. And
Yeah.
somehow these things can track the baby until they can't track the baby.
Well, I mean, once it gets dirty, it loses its scent. You don't understand. You're not a bloodhound.
I'm not a bloodhound. So let's see. So they're like the midwife escapes. She walks through snow. The fur rat dogs are coming. So she puts the baby on the raft, does the whole Moses.
I'm a little confused on how long she walked.
Years.
Is the snow a season or is it just a different region of the world? I was a little I don't know because the dogs were still coming and I was like, so ostensibly it's probably been like 3 hours. I don't know how long a dog runs at you, but I can't be that long. And it can't be that far. I don't know. I was very confused on the timing or the reach. I don't know.
And you're confused how she's carrying like a 9-month or a 1.5-year-old baby with hair that's like, golden locks.
Well, also, is she feeding it?
Who knows?
I don't understand the logistics of this escape, but good for her.
She gets away because she's crafty. So
she's crafty.
She just puts the baby on this convenient raft of reeds that's
it's so
made
great
by
that
nature.
She found the tumbleweed, the floating tumbleweed. That's great stuff.
Baby goes down the river and is found by Warwick's kids. Warwick, I believe, was 17 at the time of this movie, so he must have been getting some very busy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Good for him.
He does not look 17 though. He looks a bit older.
Well, sure, that's why he's got 2 like 10-year-old kids in the movie.
So the Munchkins are called, I believe, Elwins. The humans are called Daikini, and it's just weird. And then if we want to talk about the Elwins negatively, we call them Pecks. Pecks. Dirty Peck. Peck. We do that.
Which they said that a lot in the movie, and I was like, all right, we're really hammering this home, guys. Good for you. Stick to your guns. It's very important.
Then we have this great scene where this whole dispute about seeds.
Wait, hold on. You're skipping over my favorite part of the movie, I think, Dan.
You have a favorite part of this movie, okay.
It's when the kids find the... Wait, Has this not happened yet? Have they not brought Willow down to the baby
Yeah,
yet?
yeah.
Great. When he's like, no, we'll push it down the stream and pretend we never saw it. What? That is for our hero that's one of the first lines our hero says in the movie is just, you know what? Let's just push the baby on down the stream. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. It can fend for itself.
Good luck.
Ridiculous.
Good luck, little baby.
So
hopefully there's some humans down the river.
Yeah, like what does that even mean? Oh, you, Willow.
So he brings the baby home, and then we just do this whole thing about tomorrow being the big day where he hopes he gets picked.
Even after watching the movie, I don't totally understand this whole. So, is this entire race supposed to be sorcerers?
No.
Or is it just like a select few that become sorcerers?
Yeah, there's Billy Barty plays a sorcerer in town, and then
Right.
Willow hopes to be apprenticed to him so that he can turn things into birds.
But it feels like everybody wants this position.
No, just 3 of them.
But that's just this year. Apparently this happens every year because the guy says no apprentice this year.
Yeah, because
so that means that there's an apprentice supposedly every year, but also where's the apprentice from last year? Is he dead?
No, they explain that they do an apprentice check.
Oh, they do?
Each year they do an apprentice check. You know, he's like, let me see if anybody's ready to be apprenticed. He's like, nope. Next year we'll try again.
So what you're saying is there's never been an apprentice then?
Because
this guy's alone and he's like 200 years old.
Well, probably had an apprentice at some point who probably went to another town because you don't need 2 town wizards. Right? It's like a doctor.
Okay.
Does a town need 2 doctors or just 1 doctor? And if there's a town down the road that needs a doctor.
If it's Everwood, then they need 2 doctors, one for the rich people and one for everybody else.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You've never watched Everwood?
What's Everwood?
On the WB? Great family drama. Great stuff.
Oh, is it a fantasy?
No. I mean, in a different kind of way, I guess.
Whatever. So we do the fair, and I think the implication was Willow has failed at being the wizard before, or the apprentice before. I think they sort of said that.
It certainly feels it because he says, "I think I'm going to get picked this year. This is my year." I think
this year because he says this year.
Yeah.
So he goes and then he does practical magic. So he's like, sting through the arm, make the pig disappear. Tony's frozen and he's bouncing back and forth. Oh, you were bouncing around.
I'm bouncing.
You're frozen. Oh, you're frozen there for a second. Around. You're bouncing around. So the wizard comes out and he's like,
I think it's funny because he's doing like sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Like he's not doing magic. Like he's doing.
Well, he can't.
Magician. I'm just very confused on. So he's the gray beard dude. He's a real sorcerer, though, right?
Yeah.
So then I almost feel like Willow is being offensive in his fake trickery. Wouldn't that be considered like degrading the art of sorcerizing?
Well, he could denigrate the art, or he could.
What did I say?
You said degradating. You can denigrate something, or you can degrade something. Those are 2 different things.
I'd like to degrade the denigration, please.
There it is. I don't. The less time I spent in this Munchkin town, the better, in my opinion.
But I feel like it's integral to like the rest of the story to really understand Willow. I feel like I need this to really get something out of this movie, and I don't feel like they set up his part of the world very well.
Well, I don't think Willow doesn't really have an arc. Mad Mardigan has like sort of an arc, kind of.
Is a love potion an arc? I don't know.
Love potion. So the wizard comes out and he's like, pick a finger, any finger, and they pick the wrong finger.
He had a finger test? What is it? I don't understand.
And I mean, maybe that's the key to this movie is maybe they should have stolen things a little better because the finger pick test was just like, you got to the end of it and you're like, oh, that was dumb.
That's it. Yeah, that was the test. That's what we're doing here. Move on.
So
idiots.
The dog rats come in and they attack, and they're looking for a baby, and then they kill like one of them or maybe two of them. Big, with they poke it with sticks.
Well, just one, because they say we handled one beast, but there will be more, or something like that. That's how they
Because they know. So
know
basically, they
everything.
say they throw some bones, which he sort of reads, and then he's like, "Okay, Willow, you're taking the baby, and you're
Well, but he
going."
doesn't read the bones. He says the bones tell me nothing. So he goes through this process of doing some sorcery, and then is like, "Well, that didn't work. So what do you got, Willow? You want to do it? You don't want to do it? You just let me know." Well, I don't. That's what I don't. I don't understand if there is real magic or not in this
Well,
town.
we know
It
there's
all seems like
we
hooah.
know there's real magic. Well, we're about to see it. First of all, he gives him so Willow's going, and he's got his best bro, then he's got two warriors, then they got the tall bald midget who's horrible.
Yeah, he's in a different movie as far as I can tell.
He gets shit on his face like twice.
He's just so over the top. It's so good. I mean, he doesn't fit in with the rest of the people, but it makes me laugh every time he talks because he's so flamboyant with it. He's like, "La, da, 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 Willow!" Great stuff.
We are not going to talk about the acting of the little people because it's bad.
Is the human acting all that much better? Like
Oh no,
what are they called?
Daikini.
Daikon.
Daikini.
Yes, Daikini. I'll never remember that. Is there a George Lucas movie that has good acting?
I mean, Carrie Fisher's not terrible in Star Wars.
Sure, and either is Harrison Ford,
Harrison
but that's
Ford's-
not a movie. Two people does not a movie make. Just because they're so good that they can like work with the trash that they're given. I don't know if I'm giving that a pass.
What about what's his name? Young Anakin Skywalker and the kid who plays
that poor
him.
boy.
And what's his
That
name?
poor boy.
Christian Ronaldo. What's his name?
Hayden
Hayden
Christensen.
Christensen. What about him?
That's the worst Hayden Christensen performance I've ever seen. But if you see like Life as a House, is that what it is? Glass House, Life as a House, or whatever. He's great in that movie. He has emotions. He has like human elements to him, and they're just all gone. They're all gone in Star Wars. I don't know, man. I think it's George Lucas.
Is that the movie where he played the reporter guy that makes up the stories?
No, it's that.
That's
this is the movie where he is the son. I don't even remember what it's about, but he's building a house or something. It's very dramatic. That's all I remember. And I remember being like, oh, this kid's going to be good. And then, torpedoed.
There's this other one with him, and he plays like this reporter at a magazine, and he makes up all these stories. And you're just like, this kid is riveting. You're like, whoa.
What the fuck happened? The answer, George Lucas happened. And I don't know what's going on.
He got Lucased. So Billy Barty gives him magic acorns, and those acorns are magic, aren't they, Tony?
I guess, but they never work.
Yeah, they do.
So like it's magic for no reason.
They work in the scene that was cut out of the movie.
The one time they work, they cut out the entire thing. That's ridiculous. We'll talk about those at some point, I'm sure.
And then the wife gives him her lucky hair.
Yeah, bro. What the fuck?
That
is the weirdest gift ever.
How many times do we refer back to the lucky magic hair?
Never once. I don't even think he takes it with him, nor should he. He probably went out back and buried that shit because he was like, this is weird and creepy. I can't believe she did that. And I'm either going to divorce her or pretend it never happened. And then he put it in the ground.
At one point in the third act, he reaches down and he rubs the hair because he's got on his belt. Oh, God,
does he really?
He totally
I didn't even know.
There's like one little scene where he like goes back to that hair and he's like, oh, my wife loves me. I've got her hair.
That's so weird.
So
the hair is so gross.
Billy Barty throws something up in the air, turns into the bird, and he's like, follow the bird. And then he's like, that's heading towards town. And then they're like,
back to town.
Then he's like, don't follow the bird.
Follow the river. I mean, listen, it's a great joke that belongs in like a satire or a parody, not in like the actual movie.
So
it's very confusing.
They take off, and the baby barfs in the big little person's face.
This dude gets so much stuff on his face in this movie. It's ridiculous.
Then we go, meanwhile, at the castle, there's the evil queen. She's got the fake ass Skeletor dude. It's like, wow, great costuming. You had to rip off Skeletor.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And then we have his daughter who has like these 4 arrows stuck out of her thing, Joanne Wally, who would go on to marry Val Kilmer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's his
Wow.
wife / ex-wife, made all his kids.
Oh, they didn't make it?
No, of course not, because she got
Bummer.
sick of his bullshit. Spoilers if you're going to watch the doc.
Okay. Got it. Copy that.
And she's like, the vizier's like, she's going to betray you one of these days. And the mother's like, what? No. What?
Sure, because what's that based on, guy? I don't believe it either.
Through the bones.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Through the bones.
So there's horsemen, there's more rat dogs, but they're able to just hide from the rat dogs because the baby's dirty.
Exactly. That's called science, Dan. It covers the scent of the pheromones, and then you can't smell it anymore.
Can't smell it anymore. Rat dogs, no good. So I get to the crossroads, and there's Val, like in a cage, and he's like, "Give me the baby. Give me the baby. I'll take the baby."
This is such a weird scene to me because, first of all, the friend, Mershimer, is like, I don't remember his name, is like willing to give this guy who's clearly a bad guy. He's captured in a cage. He's like, yeah, maybe we should just give him the baby. I think he seems trustworthy. What, based on what, guy? It's very strange. It doesn't make any sense. He's like, I'll take care of the baby. I really want to. And they're like, I think he's telling the truth. He's definitely just not trying to get out of the cage at any means necessary. I don't understand.
So a couple of riders go by, and then the army comes. And then this random guy, Eric, is there, and he and Mad Mardigan get into a big discussion about why he doesn't want to let him free for some reason.
Sure.
Why did he not want to just let him free?
I thought that this guy's name was Eric, like the normal person name, Erik.
It's not?
But no, halfway through the movie, my wife's like, we have to turn on the subtitles. I don't know what's happening. It's Airk, Eric. It's not Eric, it's Eric. This is such a stupid.
You love this movie.
I do know. I enjoy it. I do. There's just a lot of weird choices.
So he comes by and's like, no, we're not going to let you out because
you serve no one. I serve somebody. I don't remember who he serves.
No idea.
He serves somebody, but you serve nobody, Val Kilmer. You're a rogue.
And it was so interesting because this scene, they marched like hundreds of guys past them. And it felt like, wow, this is where this movie's heading. And then never again did we have anything close to the epicness of this one marching scene to nowhere and no reason.
Yeah, that is correct. You really thought we were headed to like a battle with like hundreds of people on the battlefield. Epicness. And that's not it. That's not it.
That is not what we get. And so then they just sort of arbitrarily decide to let Mardigan out and give him the baby.
Yep. The decision-making skills quite low. That's all I'll say.
So Mad Mardigan's like, got my baby, I'm out of here. And he just like, do. And then they're just like, let's walk home.
Yep, we're heroes. We did it. What a bunch of idiots.
I mean, you're not surprised if they'd have just like walked the baby to the crossroads and just like left it there on the ground and like, success.
100%.
Gotta
Yeah,
go.
like that's great. No one will ever know what we did. We're heroes.
Now we're going to get to now it's when the movie really starts.
With the brownies?
The brownies. So they're like walking off. Then they get attacked by brownies. And then this hawk flies through, somehow carrying the baby.
Well, he's being controlled by a brownie, right?
There's a brownie riding the hawk. The hawk has they've stolen the baby from Mad Mardigan. And somehow this hawk is carrying a baby in a blanket.
Yeah, no problem. Hawks are very strong. Yeah. I don't know if you know this.
Mm. And then they tie them up, and we do this terrible Gulliver's Travels thing. Then this
Yeah, and it's not even like he's not even hiding it at all. It's literally they're tied down, they're on his chest. Like it is an exact depiction, except for there's two. So that's different. I guess you're right. Nope. All right. You convinced me, Ron and George. This is different.
Oh,
Great job.
Migosh, that's his bro. Migosh.
That's what I said. Bleep bloop.
So the magic fairy then outlines everything. You got to save the baby because the baby is
Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell. The baby is a Laura Dannon, and she's gonna grow up to defeat the. Wait, is she supposed to grow up to defeat the evil queen?
Yes, supposedly. But, well, I guess it never says she has to grow up. It just says a baby will be born and will defeat the queen.
That's not what happens.
It's kind of what
No.
happens in loosely. Yeah, like
What is
the baby is born, and because of the baby on this journey, then they destroy the queen.
no? I mean, they always refer to it as her doing something. The baby's got to do
Well,
something, and this baby does nothing.
It's a passive doing. You know what I mean? Like she's there.
Tony, there's no such
She's the
thing as a passive doing. Doing is doing.
What are you
You
talking
can't
about?
passively do something.
I
I'm just
passively
sitting.
do stuff all the
No,
time.
you don't. To get these videos uploaded, you can't just passively sit there. You have to actually push the buttons.
I don't push any buttons. It just happens on its own because of the will that I'm presenting to the universe, Dan.
Oh, God. So basically, Willow's got to like take the baby. Like, okay. And then the two brownies. Do you know who played one of the brownies?
Kevin Pollak. Pollak. I love him. It took me 45 minutes, maybe, of him on screen to realize that that's who it was. I was like, he looks familiar. I can't tell what's going on.
Those are two of the reveals of this movie that are actually funny. Is at one point you see that his little hat is a mouse's head.
Yeah.
So he skinned a mouse to make his little hat, and then at one point
he's a warrior.
He takes it off and he's bald. I'm like,
bald.
That was funny. It's like, okay, that's funny.
No, listen, Kevin, he's great. I love him in general. These brownies are ridiculous. They are from an entirely different movie.
They're from the Monty Python universe.
Yes.
They're like,
it's bizarre.
We shall destroy you. Yes, we shall. Oh, we will destroy you. Oh my God, we're going to destroy you all with the brownies.
It's just there's just such a weird like dichotomy of people in this because like the brownies are very
broad,
over the top. They're very broad, and then you've got like Val Kilmer, who's for the most part doing like a fairly serious like guy, and then every once in a while he does crazy Val Kilmer stuff, as you do. But it's just I don't know. It's a weird combination.
It's just weird. So Willow takes off with the baby, and he reaches this inn, and everybody's throwing lettuce at him, and all this shit's happened, and then he stumbles backwards through a secret portal into a room where Mad Mardigan is getting dressed like a woman so that he can fool a guy into thinking that he's not sleeping with the woman, but the guy then has to do a full come onto her like it's hot, and you're just like, what? It's
a lot going on.
It's just a failed bit. And then we have a hilarious battle, which leads to an incredible wagon chase.
I don't remember these two things happening. Will you refresh my memory? What is the incredible battle?
They battle all through the things, and then finally Mad Mardigan gets outside and gets on a wagon, and then he takes off, and then Willow runs along the balcony and then jumps off because somehow there's like this nice gap in the balcony. And I mean, that's one of the things about this movie is because they have to make things accessible to a little person. They just have to, leave holes in things and have magic doors in places just so he'll end up at the right place.
It's great. He's a sorcerer. I don't know if you remember this, Dan. So don't worry about it.
You do not remember the incredible cart chase?
The only I don't even know if it's a chase,
Oh,
but the
it's
only thing I
chase.
remember them riding is the sled.
Okay.
And that's
No.
later in the movie. That's the only thing I remember them
They're
doing.
on a cart, and then the bad guys have shown up, the guys in black, and then they chase, and then this cart goes, and then slowly the wheels of this cart explode.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I remember.
Now,
I
Tony,
remember.
how well do you
Yes.
do when your wheel explodes on your car?
Personally, or like a normal person?
You just keep,
Because I'm
you just keep,
basically a stunt driver, Dan.
you just keep, if you like get a flat tire, you just like, I'm just going to keep going to work, and I'm going to go
I
home.
don't even worry about it. I'm not going to pull over in the middle of the highway. That's dangerous. I'm going to hang on, and just really force it to the left so I don't drift the whole way home. I'm fine. I'll ride on that rim, baby.
And then when two wheels blow out, you just keep going, right? Just keep going.
Sometimes I've lost an axle before. Like my whole rear is just sitting back there. I'm still going. I don't care.
They're still going.
The answer's not well. You don't do great. You don't do good.
They're like going full speed with both the back wheels missing, the back dragging. And then at the end, they actually stop at one point and do some stuff, and then they start it up
Keep
again and leave
Yeah.
leave the scene.
Yeah, man, it's great. Listen, cars and horse-drawn carriages work very differently.
So, the fairy gave Willow a magic wand.
Oh, you forgot to mention that? That's like the next giant plot point. He's got to find this witch source. I don't know. What's her name?
I don't. Who knows?
Galvadriel.
Galvadriel. Yep, Galvadriel. Everybody knows the elf in Lord of the Rings, Legolas. We know the dwarf, Gimli. We know these stupid characters.
My axe.
Frodo, Bilbo, Samwise Gamgee, or what the... we know all these...
I think it's a G.
We watched this movie for 2 hours, and we don't remember any of these names because they're so bad.
Well, except for Willow. You remember?
They kind of put it on the marquee, and actually, it's not a bad name.
Yeah, which is weird because everyone around him has terrible names. It's just, but Willow. Yeah, I get it. I know Willow.
So he's there. Oh, so he and Mad Mardigan have a whole talk where you got to help me, and he's like, "I guess so. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't have a lot else to do. I'll do it."
Willow practices magic, shoots himself up a tree. Mad Mardigan gives Blackroot to the baby. Willow scolds him. No Blackroot for the baby.
Yeah, what is it?
No one knows.
Is that a thing? Okay, I wasn't sure if that was like something they made for this movie or if that's a real... I don't know anything.
So we get to the lake, and there's the island, which you're like, that's the island? And then Mad Mardigan's like, okay, I'm done. Howdy. And he just like leaves.
He's fulfilled his duty, okay? He's good.
And Willow just like leaves the baby sitting there on the side of the lake.
Well, I would say that he's not used to taking care of babies, but he's got 2 children. So he should know better.
Now we're going to talk about the best part of the movie, the part of the movie that wasn't in the movie, Fish Boy.
Fish Boy?
So in one of these deleted scenes that's in the bonuses on Amazon Prime, there's like this weird kid who like glares at him and maybe yells at him, and then he gets in the boat, and then the kid comes up there and tries to bite him because he's got big teeth.
Got cool teeth.
And then he turns into this giant plastic fish.
That fish monster.
Bites the side of the boat and then also drags him underwater.
Kind of bites the boat. It's more of just runs into it with its mouth open.
And it's so fun watching Ron Howard try to explain how we would have to spend a lot of money on the VFX. And you're just like, if you were there that day and you were shooting this, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on? This is the biggest bullshit
shut
ever.
it down. If I was the producer of this movie and I'm on set that day, I'm like, we're canceling the movie, guys. Shut it down. This looks stupid. We gotta go.
You talk to your writers on set. You're like, okay, let's just skip all this. Exit out. We don't need this, right? No, it's just
cut these 8 pages here. We got to move on.
In the Goldenrod script, those pages no longer exist. We're done with this.
But they shot the whole thing.
They shot the underwater after they shot it above water. You're just like, and this fish looks so fake and so cool. It's like this. It's so terrible. You're like, I wish they made a toy of this stupid thing.
Yes.
Would have been the greatest thing
Or
ever.
just a whole movie about it. I would watch that movie.
So we get to the island, and this is where the wizard lady's supposed to be, and the wizard lady's gotten turned into, I believe, a kinkajou. And so it's this kinkajou that's just sitting up there.
You only know that because of that YouTube that you watch.
I'm big fans of the
I've
kinkajou.
never I didn't know. I was like, what's this rat thing?
I think it's a kinkajou, isn't it? I think it is.
I love it.
So
I don't know. I've never seen one.
it's the witch is like, Willow, Willow, Willow.
I can't wait to hear you do the goat voice too.
My buddy Todd does these voices, and that's the only reason I'm doing them, because they're so stupid. I don't know what happens in this movie.
Yes, you do. He has to turn her back to humans.
So he's got to turn her back to humans, so he's got to use the wand. I wrote, soldiers take the baby, and everyone but the brownies. Oh, they get captured. So they get captured.
Yeah, they get captured.
And they're being dragged along, and then the daughter's like, she's in wordplay with Mad Mardigan. Oh, wordplay.
So now, am I supposed to believe that they already know each other?
No, they don't know each other.
Okay, I didn't think so, but like, their relationship moves very quickly.
Their relationship, it's interesting. The other big deleted scene was a whole thing with her dad. Did you watch the dad stuff in the deleted scenes?
No, you told me to watch Fish Boy.
Oh, well, there's 3 deleted scenes. One of them deals with the acorns. Oh, the magic acorns he actually effectively uses on the fish, so they actually work.
Oh, you forgot to mention that part.
So,
which is great because he turns the already plastic, unmoving fish into like
a rock.
Something that's rock, yeah. Which is amazing. That's some meta shit right there.
So there's the husband of the witch. The evil queen.
Okay, so he's the king.
He got turned into stone, and I guess the witch didn't care about it or something, and she was always worried about the dad. And at one point, I think maybe in that castle they end up where the dragon is, there's all these people encased in the stones, including her dad, and she's trying to rescue her dad, and I think that sort of turns her against her mom. But
that makes more sense.
This whole plot line had to be excised because you don't want to be dealing with a female character in a movie at this point that it figures out a motivation, because we got to have Mad Mardigan and all these other dumb things happen.
Right, but instead she's just like
nothing.
Bad person in one scene, and then the next scene she's like, well, I guess I'll be on your side. Kiss me, fool. I was so taken aback by her turn, which I'm okay with it. But I need a reason.
So there was sort of a secondary plot line, which they didn't want this movie to be 2 hours and 20 minutes, and so they just completely cut it out. And
I can think of a bunch of other plot lines you could cut out instead of that.
No, you can't. So they marched them off. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Of course, they've left Willow with the magic wand, which is insane. You know what you do? You take all the magic items off of a person when you take control.
Or you just take all of their items. You don't know what they are, but if there's a chance it could be used, take it. Just get rid of it. He's your prisoner.
So he turns Finn Rizal into a crow now, and then we start with all this love spell stuff. Like, it's so weird.
It is so weird. Now, was it the brownies who had like a bag of magic dust and they hit him with it, and then he's in love?
They hit each other with it, and just there's all this dust floating around, and he eventually gets a face of it, and then they just escape because the brownies unlock the thing, and they escape, and then they just crawl into where the baby is, and there's the baby, no one guarding it because it's a baby.
Well, it's sleepy time. She's taking a nap, Dan.
And so Val runs across the daughter, and then he does this whole Shakespeare thing, which was so painful.
Yeah, this was the worst Val in the movie. This one scene almost ruined Val for me.
So they grab so they just get away, and then they're like, jump on the shield, and they get on the shield and then go down the snow mountain.
And they go down for, I would say, a good 4 to 5 minutes. Until
Val falls,
so unnecessary.
Val falls off, and Val turns into a cylindrical snowball.
Into a giant snowball, and he rolls down the thing. What is happening? This is not the movie for a giant human snowball rolling down a hill. It doesn't fit. It doesn't make any sense in this movie.
So George Lucas was standing there because I watched some of the behind the scenes footage. He was there the whole time. He produced this movie. He was standing there for this whole movie.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, go snowball. Yeah.
Yeah, do a human snowball. That's great
That
stuff.
literally has Val Kilmer's feet sticking out the end.
Which, by the way, I can't even. I can't talk about it. It's so stupid. I don't know, man.
So they hide, and then the soldiers come down, and then the soldiers search, and then they find most of the soldiers just leave for a reason that is not specified when their only reason for being here is the baby. They just decide to just leave because we need to have fewer of them.
It's lunchtime. They gotta go get sandwiches. Union break, Dan.
And then they take the daughter prisoner, and so that's how they get away. This movie is so terribly long. Oh, it's only 2 more pages. We're getting there. I want to talk about. We're taking a break from all this because I'm exhausted. Now we have Tony talk.
Okay, let's get serious, Dan.
The baby reaction shots.
I can't tell where you're going, so I'm gonna let you go first.
What the fuck? They always cut to the baby to show what the baby's reaction to every situation.
And here's why. It's because the baby is literally the best actor in this movie. She is somehow emoting and you know what she's thinking, and she's a fucking baby. And then I watched this movie with 20 other adult people, and I'm like, I don't understand your motivations. I don't know what your character's thinking. You're not acting. But this baby is somehow so good. And while it doesn't make sense in the movie, I appreciate the fact that somebody can act. That's all. It is. There are times when they cut to her face and she's doing stuff that I'm like, she doesn't even have the muscles in her face to do that. That is incredible. So she's a star. I hope she grew up famous.
This baby did 6 months at the Lee Strasberg Institute and just came out ready to rock and roll.
Fully method, baby.
And I will say this is one of the few things I liked in the movie is that they took the daughter prisoner, and that's how they actually escaped from a situation. I was like, okay. Yeah. As opposed to outrighting them or something.
Yeah, or just walking away.
So and then they fall in love.
Very quickly, by the way. Just so fast.
And somehow Val Kilmer's character doesn't remember doing the Shakespeare stuff. I don't understand.
Yeah. Oh, did I do that?
That was me?
Did I really do that last night? And then she's all upset. She's like, you lied to me. Which is all crazy because you hated him until he said that he loved you. And then you were like, oh, somebody loves me? I love you too. This is the first time a man has ever paid attention to me, and I love you.
So we get to Terrace Lee's castle where they expected to be a bunch of soldiers, but instead there's no one there except there's an entire armory. Tony,
yeah.
When you are an army and you abandon a castle, do you leave an entire armory there?
That's the only stuff I do leave, because the one thing I know, Dan, is that on the road, I don't need any weapons.
Don't need weapons.
I'm all good.
And this is the point at which Mad Mardigan home alones this fucking whole castle by himself. Somehow he can home alone the entire castle. The funny thing is, Home Alone didn't come out till 2 years after this movie.
I know, he came up with it.
So
Mad Cardigan is the original Macaulay Culkin.
Is this the first home aloneing of us in a movie? Did this movie actually do something creative?
Could they have invented the entire genre of home aloneing? Because that would be crazy.
Did John Hughes rip off Willow?
I mean, listen, if he did, Willow deserved it because Willow ripped off everything. Pay it forward, baby. That's an interesting. I don't know how you would find that out, but that's a very interesting question, Dan.
Because I was thinking, and I mean, I have a terrible memory of stuff too, but I can't think of another movie where they did the whole Home Alone thing.
I don't know.
The booby traps and all that. It seems such an 80s movie thing, but
Yeah.
In Stupid Goonies, did they do anything?
Dan, you're asking the wrong guy. Goonies is the worst film of all time.
Oh, we should do Goonies.
If you want me to be angry for an hour, you let me know.
Goonies. Okay, so then the other army comes, and then we have like trolls who are these people in the worst ape suits ever with just these plastic faces.
The giant noses
If you thought
or whatever.
the rat dogs were bad, the trolls are just literally I mean, they felt like they were bought at the spirit store. Like,
But
here's
here's
$100.
the
Go
other end
pick
of
me
that.
up some troll costumes from the spirit store. Oh no, yeah, we have a $43 million budget, but spirit store.
Well, we don't want to waste it on these trolls. They're barely in the movie. But here's what I'll say, Dan, because once again, I thought the dogs were cool. I loved the dogs. Dogs get a 10 out of 10 for me. The trolls get a 1 out of 10. They were terrible. So opposite sides of the spectrum.
I mean, from a campy standpoint, sure, the dogs dressed as rats. I mean, whatever. It's stupid, but
Great.
whatever.
It's dope. It's 10 out of 10. I love it. The tails, the giant tails that like are clearly above the body. It's great.
So Willow wands the one troll, and it turns into this blobby mass, and then these two heads stick out, and then he kicks it into the moat, and then it turns into this giant fire-breathing two-headed dragon.
Obviously they grow in water like a plant. You didn't know that, Dan? Come on.
When did Gremlins come out?
Oh, I don't know.
Look up Gremlins, Tony, because
right.
I was like, so then we just have all this big battle, and then the good army shows up, and then the Skeletor guy somehow grabs the baby and then just rides through the whole good army, which is 10 times bigger than their army.
And they just let him go.
And then nobody chases him.
He doesn't even zigzag through it. He just goes straight through. It's like they parted the Red Sea and we're like, yeah, you're fine. Everyone else, you're going down.
Oh, it was so...
Gremlins came out in 84.
Okay, so they rip off Gremlins in like the world's dumbest way. Don't throw a troll into water because it'll turn into a dragon. I'm sure there was a line earlier in the movie where someone said, don't kick a troll into a dragon. It'll become a dragon, because that makes a lot of sense.
It's perfect.
And
it's magic science.
So stupid. So, Act 3. Has there ever been a more engaging Act 3 than this Act 3?
Not since... what's another good Act 3?
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
So basically what happens is they siege the castle. The witch turns everybody into pigs.
Except for Willow, who's defending himself.
Who's like,
magically.
Magic defense. And then Willow, in what is the groundbreaking piece of this thing, turns whatever her name is.
Broomhilda?
Finrizel. Turns her back to human. Magics her. And did you notice that, like, each time he does this, it's like a completely different situation? Like, the words are completely different?
Yeah, the spell is different every time. That's what's weird about it to me. Dan, I'm not sure magic really exists in this place. I think it's all hokum.
It's interesting. I was watching this guy talk about world building in fantasy. And he talked about magic. And he's like, with magic, you have two ways to go. You have magic that's a magic of rules.
Yes.
Hit you with the magic acorn, you turn to stone, right? Yep, and then you have magic that's beyond. That's just magic. And some things do both things. Like in Lord of the Rings, you know what the magic ring does, right?
Yep, I do.
Makes you invisible, turns you into Gollum. Boom, done. But Gandalf does all sorts of stuff at just random. Whenever Gandalf wants to do something, it just sort of happens.
Yeah.
So in this movie, it's like they never really even sort of pick a lane. They just sort of go like, oh, magic wand, sort of. If you feel it, it might do a thing. If you don't feel it, it's going to turn you into an ostrich.
It's not going to do it.
Or a troll's going to turn into a two-headed dragon that breathes fire and gains all this mass from God knows where. So he fixes Finrizel, turns everybody back from pigs, into people.
Hold on. Let's talk about the good witch.
Finn Rizal.
Yes, her.
Didn't know I was old.
So earlier in the movie, Val Kilmer is like, "What are you going to turn into? Or what'd you look like before you were this?" And she's like, "I'm a beautiful young woman," which is a great joke because then Val Kilmer's like, "Willow, you got to do it," or whatever. Great joke. But then she turns into this like old, feeble woman at the end. And then she's like, "Has it really been that long?" And that is the saddest storyline ever. And we just brush over it. This woman lost her entire life to being like a fucking kinkajou. That's terrible, and we don't deal with it at all. And I just, justice for Broomhilda, Zelda, Grinalda. What's her name?
Rizal.
Finn Rizal.
Well, I mean, actually, Tony brings up a good point, and it happens occasionally.
I'm keeping score, by the way. You just can't see it. It's off here. This little chart.
Rarely or occasionally. Really, Tony makes a good point. But, I mean, if you were a kinkajou and you were just there for a year or two, you would age a lot more.
Sad stuff.
So now we get to the one part of the movie I liked. It's actually 2 lines.
Okay.
Willow says, "Back home, we've got a lot of gophers." And then Mad Mardigan says, "This is war, not agriculture."
Great stuff.
That's the one good line of the movie.
They crushed it. There's been a couple of great lines.
So basically, they're doing the ritual. The baby's like wrapped in electrical tape and looks like a little bondage queen. It's like so weird. It's like, who designed that costume? Who stood there and said, "Yeah, that's what we need. Wrap him in electrical tape. Looks good.
Looks great.
Looks black leather straps." Like, what the fuck? Oh God. Then so they dig these pits, and then the bad guys come out, and then their horses all jump out of the pits, and then they're able to ride right in because they left the gate open.
Yeah. I mean, whoops.
Then we have a big wizard battle scene between Finn Rizal and the wizard, which is just a complete ripoff of the Roger Corman movie The Raven. Go watch that for an incredible wizard battle scene. This is a complete ripoff of, and done like shit. And then,
I mean, I agree with that. I don't know this Raven thing, but this fight is weak sauce. This is dreadful cinema. I don't like it at all.
So Willow throws the acorn. The witch catches the acorn and goes, "Stone, stone, 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 unstone, 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 unstone."
And nothing. Yeah. So that's 2 wasted acorns in the movie. 2 of 3.
2 of 3. The only one that worked was the one that we cut out of the movie. Good magic.
Great job, guys.
And then Mad Mardigan shows up and does something. I don't know. Did he do anything in the? No, I guess Willow just solved the witch, right?
Well, it's in the actual witches battle. Is that what you're asking? No, he shows up at the end of the witches battle, but he's outside, doing his business. He's killing the dragon.
Ding, 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 ding.
He's jumping on the back of the dragon and stabbing it, and then the head explodes.
That was the last castle.
As normal.
Last castle. The dragon was at the other castle.
I thought it was all the same castle. I'm so confused.
Different castle, Tony. That was the empty castle. This is the witch's castle, or the evil queen's castle.
They both feel empty. I don't know what to tell you.
So Willow's got the baby, and he runs over there, and then he's like, "Oh, baby is gone!" And the witch is like, "Bah!" And then lightning goes, "Bah!" And then she knocks the potions and the red smoke, and she dies.
So here's where I get a little iffy on this movie.
Yep.
Up to this point, I'm all in.
I don't believe the red smoke. Tony's out on the red smoke.
It's the lightning.
Why?
Nobody kills the witch.
Lightning.
She just happens to die by lightning.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that. That's dumb.
Tony. Okay, I'm your dad. Tony, do not walk outside when it is raining and there is lightning. Right?
And then I do it anyhow. Guess what? Totally fine.
That's because you didn't knock over red smoke vials.
Oh, so it calls the lightning?
Yes.
Oh, God.
It's like, I mean, I like the whole thing with Willow doing his trick and not fucking it up. I like that.
For
I was
sure.
like, that's a
Yeah,
nice
that's a
bit.
great callback.
Yeah,
It's
nice
nice.
callback.
But then somebody has to defeat the witch. I just watched an entire movie where they're all on this escapade to go stop the witch, and nobody does it. She just happens to die. What a ripoff. I'm upset. Ron Howard, I'm going to slap you in the face next time I see you.
And then give you a big kiss because Backdraft is so good.
I'm going to watch Backdraft again.
Good.
I think it's good. I think it holds up.
So Willow gets a magic book. They say goodbye, and then Willow makes a bird, and it shits on the last joke is the bird shits on the big little person's
Just a great
face.
callback. Another solid.
That's what Tony likes the most is like butt jokes and shit jokes, and he gets one
Love 'em.
right at the end, and he's just like
Yeah,
comedy.
keep 'em coming, guys. That's what I was missing through the movie. Just more crass humor.
This movie's so weird.
It's one of the weirder movies that we've watched on here for sure.
It's just like it's just like 12 things shoehorned into a movie. And then, like I said, then to cleanse my palate, I watched The Princess Bride, and it's just like goddamn line after line after line. It's about love. It's about characters being who they are. And
I mean, it helps when you have like a central thesis to plan your things around. You know what I mean?
I think they said
good.
the guy that wrote this movie wrote like 7 drafts of it.
And then they like pieces of all 7 drafts and just kind of glued them together.
Oh man, I'm burping.
And just to reiterate, I enjoyed it. I had a good time, but that doesn't make it a good movie.
Was your wife watching it too?
She made it through about 2/3.
She did not have a good time.
She did not have a great time. No, no, she did not.
And I mean, yes, if you look at this like what was the one with the green food? What was that whole one? Troll.
Trolls 2.
Troll 2. Very similar movies.
Sure. Yeah. I think this one's a little bit better. Like, because there's some good stuff in there, like the dogs. And I love Val Kilmer. Listen, now, you know what? I disagree. Troll 2 is terrible. This movie's great. I'm switching teams.
When Val Kilmer does his sword throw and falls on the ground, it's funny.
That's a good bit. Listen, this guy should have just stuck with comedy. Ugh, Val.
It's very sad that this wasn't like a full-on sort of campy comedy movie that had fun with it, and we cut out the stupid love story.
This movie would have been huge then. I mean, I think it did well, right?
It did fine, yeah. If his issue had been irresponsibility, would have been a fun movie.
Sure.
Sure. He's irresponsible. We jacked the Brownies' timbre up about 3 octaves, so it's not like me.
Yeah.
Actually, whatever. I'm exhausted now.
It's good though. That was a good round.
Fish boy.
I'm hot, man.
You are hot, Tony.
Damn,
take that shirt off and show off those guns.
I would, but if somebody made it this far in the podcast, they shouldn't be punished. That doesn't seem fair. They should be rewarded.
So, Tony, now you're going to tell us, unless you have something else to say about this, we could talk about the Horner score or anything else, the titles.
The only thing I'd say about the score is the end credit song was very weird and very different from the movie, the music throughout the movie. And I was like, what? This is a weird choice. And that was it. That was the last note that I wrote. That's all I got.
Now, Tony, do you actually have notes that you refer to while we're doing this?
The answer is yes. I wrote a page and a half of notes. I generally don't refer to them just because you bring up all the points that I want to bring up anyhow. So as long as I remember what I was going to say.
Were you going to bring up the baby's acting and reaction shots? Were you going to bring that up?
Yes, and I'm so glad that you did, because that was actually one of my earlier notes. Is I was like, this baby's actually acting. I don't understand what's going on here. Because she does, dude. She's got these facial. Oh, she's unbelievable. She's like a young Jim Carrey.
We need to find out what happened with her.
Yeah, that'll be my homework.
That and the kid from the whatchamacallit, Kurt Cobain band. Shannon was doing the whole thing about her.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Did you hear about all that kid? That kid's got problems.
That kid needs to be slapped in his damn face. Are you kidding me? Listen, I don't want to get controversial on here, but that was the most I haven't been that angry at a news story in a long time. And I was just like, you fucking idiot. Get your shit together, guy. You're an adult. Stop being a little bitch. Anyhow.
Tony's ire raises up. Whew, what a smackdown.
It's just ridiculous. It's just a silly, silly thing.
That's very ridiculous. So, Tony, tell us about something you enjoyed this week.
Okay, so this is going to be a little. It's like I tangentially enjoy this, but just bear with me. I shouldn't have qualified it. I should have just gone for it. So
I've got these new mud flaps for my car, and I need to talk about them. Like, what the fuck, Tony?
Listen, my Hyundai doesn't get mud flaps. It's fine. So the new Spider-Man trailer dropped.
Ugh.
I like the Spider-Man movies. It's fine, but what I'm not saying I enjoy the trailer. I'm indifferent towards the trailer, but what I enjoy is these Marvel fanboy idiots coming out and just being like, this is what's these let me break down this trailer for you, and here's all the hidden things you didn't see, here's all my fan theories. And it's bizarre to me that where we are as a society is we try to figure out the movie before we go see it. Nobody wants to be surprised by the movie anymore. They want to outsmart the movie.
Yeah.
And then they get mad when the movie doesn't do what they thought it was going to do. And I just sat back and I watched this comment section just like go crazy. And I was like, I just getting popcorn, you know? And I'm like, you're all going to be so mad in 6 months when this movie comes out and they don't do the things that you want them to do. But that's stupid. It's your fault, fans. Just sit back and enjoy the story.
Nope.
Calm down, everybody.
Nope. I want to be first. I want to know what's coming. I want to know every joke. I want my experience completely ruined.
I know, it's so weird to me. But anyhow, so I just sat on the comment section for a while, and that was my day.
You're so weird. My pick is, I watched the new John Cena movie on Hulu.
The Holiday Friend. What's it called?
Holiday Friends. Or Vacation Friends.
Vacation Friends. That's what it is. Is it good?
It is exactly the movie you expect. And it hits every one of those points that you expect at exactly, this movie is so by the numbers. It's crazy, but it's got John Cena in it. The girl's good. The other guy's good. The comedy's good. It's just, you're just like, wow, they can make a normal comedy that's just a comedy.
I'm so excited. That's date night movie tonight.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
Thumbs up. That's not my pick though, because I just wanted to see if you'd seen it or not.
No, not yet.
Brand new cherry flavor.
Is that a new ice cream? What's going on?
It's the new Netflix show based on like a book.
Okay.
Has the girl that was in the Alita movie, and she's been in a bunch of other stuff. And Catherine Keener is sort of the bad guy, and then some other people. It's like 8. I think it was 8 episodes. Oh, it was great. Great. You're like, oh, yeah, so many good things in this movie. So many fucked up things in this movie. It's like some body horror in there, like some general horror, Hollywood story. Oh, man, it was just so good. Based on a book. Lo and behold, imagine that. If someone actually writes a real book and then they make it into a thing, it can be good. Maybe if they'd have written a Willow book that someone wanted to read.
Before the movie, because they wrote Willow books after the movie.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem, is these movies, they're like, there's nothing there. If you're going to try to make something epic, you better have something there before you go in there, because you're going to end up with a lot of ripoffs from it's going to be an homage to movies.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Stupid.
And so, wait, your thing was cherry lip gloss? What was it called?
Brand new cherry flavor. I watched this whole thing, could not remember the thing, had to literally look up the title again, even though I read the title each and every time.
It doesn't sound like a title.
It's a terrible title, even though I like the title, but it's a terrible title. I mean, I think it's supposed to be that whole reference of, where Hollywood's always looking for that brand new thing,
Sure.
and that's a lot of what this movie is about. And
That brand new cherry flavor.
yeah, and there's a lot of things in this movie, and you're just like, whoa, what the f? Well, it's not a movie; it's a show. So, Tony,
Oh, sure.
do we have one more movie before we start doing Halloween? Is this going to be our last?
Yeah, we have one more regular movie before we start Spooky Month,
Spooky
which
October.
I'm very excited for. Dan doesn't seem to care.
I
it's
haven't
my favorite time of year.
thought about any Halloween
It's
movies.
the most wonderful time of the year, October. Anyhow, so next week, our last normal movie, I wanted to stay in the same realm.
Oh no,
this high fantasy, and I was like, you know what? We can do this right.
Oh, please.
We can.
Please be the James Franco movie.
No, Your Highness. No, that actually would have been a great one because I hate that movie.
It's so bad.
But instead, we are going back to 2000. Jeremy Irons, Marlon Wayans, which already you got to think to yourself, what the fuck is going on right now? This movie is 2000's Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I never saw it as a kid because it looked awful. And it's like that MTV generation of high fantasy, and I'm very excited.
Man, I'm trying to think if I saw it. I might have seen it in the theaters.
I bet you did, you nerd.
Might have. I mean, the Magic the Gathering Netflix show has been announced and it's going to happen next year.
And isn't Brandon Routh in it?
Brandon Routh is
He's
in it.
Be one of the voices.
And the guy that's executive producing it's a guy I know.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Nice.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, Dan, I do voices. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, yeah.
But just pass it along.
He would never give me any work or anything, but...
Yeah. Yeah, me neither.
He always told me I was going to get completely screwed on Mr. Toast. He's like, you will get completely screwed. He was not wrong.
I love the optimism. Thanks, guy.
He's just like, I mean, that's the thing. He's like, he knows, he's been in the business for a million years. He's like, you will get screwed. I'm like, you bet I will.
You bet. Bring it on, baby.
2000, and we know that this movie is available somewhere.
Oh, no, I don't know that, actually. I just got so excited to do it.
I have to make sure that things are available somewhere if we're going to do them.
Yeah, I can buy it on Vudu.
Okay, very good.
I got it for you. I'll do it right after.
I mean, because, we can't do the Masters of the Universe movie, which we would do instantaneously.
We can.
We have to buy...
If I lend you my DVD.
Yeah, DVD. That's a lot of work.
Do I have... Or maybe I just have it on VHS. I'm honestly not sure.
VHS.
I do have it.
You
downstairs.
Well, you could lend me your VHS. I would have no way to watch it.
Yeah, you can't play it. You can't do that.
I do not have a VHS player. Would not put up with that.
I think I might already own it, Dan.
Oh, okay, good.
I'll look into it.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons. Marlon Wayans at the top of his game.
Marlon Wayans? What the hell?
I know. What's he doing in a high fantasy? I don't know. I'm excited. I'm very excited.
When they made those kind of choices, and you're like, what the hell is going on?
And I love it.
And then we begin Halloween month. Maybe we'll finally do Halloween 2. Is that the really bad one? What's that one?
Halloween 3.
Season of the Witch. The only one. The only one I've ever seen. Went and saw it in the theater.
Here's the thing, Dan. I don't think it's a bad. I mean, we could do a whole podcast just on the Halloween series. Season of the Witch is a fun, campy 80s horror film. It just has absolutely nothing to do with Halloween 1 and 2 or 4 through 20. So it's just weird. I think it gets a bad rap.
I remember seeing it in a mostly empty movie theater and being like, what the hell is this?
That sounds about right. It's a weird movie. It's about 3 masks that have powers. I don't know. Oh, I love it.
Well, we're getting there. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Get there.
Yeah, we will.
So this has been Hate Watching. If you like what you see, tell your friends. Maybe go over to Tony's other YouTube channel and like his things that he does.
Or thumbs down it. That seems to be pretty popular too. I won't hold it against
shut
you.
up.
Do what
You're getting a lot of positive comments, and that's good.
Shut up.
What everyone else is saying. You shut up. No, not me.
Tough
You. Who are you talking to? Me or you? You. Me.
No.
We'll both shut up in a minute. So like, subscribe, leave a comment.
Mhm.
Tell your aunt or your uncle about this show. Maybe they'd be interested. Maybe.
Probably not.
And we'll be back next week with some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, a little D&D, baby.
Till that time, I've been Dan.
And I've been Tony.
We'll see ya later.
Bye, everybody.
Hey, watch it!